Welcome to the Morning Slice.
Hello, my friends. How are you today? I've missed you, and you may hear some noise in the background. I have a fan running right now. It is so hot here in upstate New York. It is 77 degrees here in my home, and it's 90 degrees outside. So actually, when you take a step inside from being outside, it feels nice and cool in here at 77, but the fan needs to stay on. So I apologize if there is some extra background noise, and I hope you'll bear with me. Today's episode is all about the body, and this has been waiting in the queue for a few weeks now. I don't know why it's like never feeling quite ready. I fight with myself sometimes because I like to feel really prepared. It helps me to feel calm and confident when I have like my notes and I know generally what I want to say. But I also have this knowing that I want to let things free flow and that some of the best stuff comes out of me when I just open up and flow with whatever the inspiration is guiding me toward. So while I do have notes today, I am going to do my best to just let the spirit talk through me and hopefully bring more and more of that into the podcast moving forward. So back to the body. My relationship with my body is actually one of the things that I am most proud of in my life. It's an area that I feel like I've worked on a lot and actually completely transformed the relationship that I have. Because growing up, I was pretty disconnected from my body. I didn't have a really good idea about like nutrition and movement. These things felt like shoulds. They felt like things that I should be doing better but didn't really know how to do, and that never felt very good. It always felt like prescriptive, like something that was mandated from outside of me rather than a relationship to nurture, to learn about, to make my own choices with. And over the years, I've become a lot more informed. I have studied movement and nutrition, and I've worked as a personal trainer, and I've gone from a life of a lot of yo-yo, weight loss, weight gain, and sometimes working out, sometimes not working out, eating well, not eating well, kind of like back and forth, and even some disordered eating in my teenage years, always just feeling so critical and dissatisfied with my body, to generally feeling like very happy and healthy in my skin. Now, this is a relationship that I lean on. That is the first place I go when I start feeling off kilter. And I just want to share some of that with you today. So let's dive in. So I think a lot of us, we get into this mindset where we feel like our body is holding us back, especially when we have any kind of symptoms that we don't quite understand, or we don't like what we see in the mirror, or we don't feel like healthy and vital. We can start to feel tired and sluggish. Like our body is a worldly limitation, or it can be, like we can't really press past the limits of our body. We can expand on our body's limits, obviously, like through training, but resentment starts to grow for a lot of people towards the limitations that we perceive, towards the symptoms that we perceive as holding us back from the things that we want. And we're taught from a very young age to suppress our body's needs as much as humanly possible to be able to, keep up with the Joneses, right? To do what is required of us to be successful. Like, we can sleep when we're dead, right? How many times have you heard that? Hustle culture, I feel like, is a huge instigator of people feeling like they need to ignore what their bodies are telling them and just push past it and keep going and, make ourselves incredibly uncomfortable in the pursuit of quote unquote success. Like, success to who? But success, right? The stereotypical social, hierarchical view of success. But a new perspective is available to us, right? Because really, when I think of what success is, it includes feeling incredible in my body. What does success look like for you if you really sit back and think about it? What does success feel like for you? Think about that. Does it look like constantly feeling tired and constantly feeling like you're pushing past your body's limitations? Or does it feel like flow? Does it feel like vitality and health? Does it feel like love for yourself and your body and adoration and awe of what you've been able to accomplish in partnership with your body during this life experience? We don't realize often how essential our bodies are until it starts to fail us. Without our bodies, we literally don't have life. Without our health, we literally cannot move forward. So, might it be worth creating more collaborative habits and patterns with our body? I think so. And the perspectives that I really subscribe to when it comes to the body are that we can trust our body. Our bodies are incredible self-healing machines. Like, it's incredible the way that we can heal ourselves. And our body's ability to heal depends on our ability to relax, on our ability to settle into our nervous system. And we have control truly over our nervous system's ability to activate and regulate. We get to make choices that help us do that. Our body can become our very best friend in life. Like, we have no longer relationship than the relationship with our own body. We cannot separate from it until death, right? Depending on what you believe, right? And our desires, which I believe really originate from our body, they are safe guidance for us. So how do we make this shift from approaching our body like it's enemy number one, like it is just holding us back and so much frustration and resentment towards our body, into a space of best friendship with our body and working collaboratively with our body and following our desires and cultivating trust with our body, trusting our body's ability to heal itself? How do we go from suppressing and repressing our body's needs and ignoring our body's signals to hearing what our bodies are trying to tell us? How do we make this shift? Sometimes it doesn't even look like doing things differently, but bringing different intentions to the practices that you're doing. So for instance, like exercise, you know, there are so many people who do exercise based on what they think they should do and really forcing themselves to do things that don't feel comfortable or, hurt. And we think that that's the way it is. And of course, there is a great thing that happens when we press the limitations of our muscles and we make them shake and we strengthen our muscles in our body. Like, that is important, and there is a time and place for that. But there's also always the time and place to follow your body's lead about what kind of movement it wants on a day-to-day basis. So like, especially for women who go through a menstrual cycle throughout the month, right? We crave different types of movement at different times of the cycle. And I would venture to guess that most people are like this. Like, some days our body wants and needs more stretching. Some days we want more vigorous movement. So what would it look like to listen to what your body is asking for on a moment-to-moment basis and doing some of that? Again, it might not even look different, the movements that you're choosing, but the intention and the energy behind it can be so much different when you are listening to your body and you're hearing what it wants. I've talked to clients who have exhausted themselves trying to appease their bodies and the symptoms that they're experiencing, but it's all done out of an energy of like resentment and frustration and like, I will never satisfy my body. I just keep having these things happen no matter what I do. But shifting into a place of, I am taking these actions out of love for my body rather than out of resentment is so powerful. So powerful. So can you experiment with that? Choose actions with love. Choose actions that are guided by your body's desire. And it might be worth examining what stories have told you that you need to repress your body's signs and signals to be successful or to be accepted and loved, to get your needs met. What stories, what experiences have you had? What conditioning did you get socially that taught you that you need to put your body's feedback on the back burner? It might be worth evaluating that a little bit, because the truth is that there are a million different beliefs that you can choose in this world. You can choose to believe that what your body wants matters. You can choose to believe that your body has your best interest at heart. You can choose to believe that investing in your body returns to you in dividends. You can choose to believe all manner of things. And from my experience, it feels so much better on a day-to-day basis to actually listen to what our body is trying to tell us. So it's absolutely worth paving new pathways with your belief to allow that conversation to happen. We have so much power and wisdom in our bodies that we can access anytime we want. We can access anytime we want, anytime we are able to listen. So what does your body want and need right now? What would make you feel completely, deeply cared for right now? And can you take that action today? Over the next 24 hours, I would love for you to do one thing for your body that you always crave, but you wouldn't normally do, and see how that feels. Maybe you stretch exclusively for your workout instead of doing a bunch of like cardio and weightlifting. Maybe you eat pasta for dinner when normally you like don't do carbs. And now I am not a doctor or a nutritionist or any of these realm of professionals, right? If you have food sensitivities and, regimens that you're working on with a doctor, please don't let what I'm saying compete with that. I would rather layer into that, right? Like, let's use this as an addition to the support system that you already have. I would also love to encourage you when you're thinking or feeling into what actions you want to take here to identify things that are going to feel good for you before, during, and afterwards. So there are a lot of different things that we impulsively want or crave throughout the course of a day, and they wouldn't necessarily all be good for us, right? So if you're craving something that would have ramifications in your life that would not feel good after the fact, like any number of things, you fill in the blank. Look at that craving and identify what the need is underneath that you're trying to meet, and explore some other ways that you might be able to meet that need or that craving that would feel good for you before, during, and after you take that action. How can you bring more love into the interactions you have with your body and into the choices that you're making for your body? Can you allow your body to have a stronger voice when it comes to making body decisions? I would love to hear how it goes for you if you try it out. That's it. That is what I have for you today on our relationship with our bodies. And this is a real sweet spot for me, actually. I love helping people connect deeper with their bodies. I love, love, love helping you find your body's voice. So if when you hear me say, like, what does your body want right now? And you're like, Brianna, I have no clue. Then let's talk. We can do a few different things. So one is an epiphany session. An epiphany session is a private session with me. We'll get together one-on-one. It takes about 2 hours, and we will get crystal clear about what you want. We will understand what is standing in the way of that. And we will create some shifts for you right away, some deeper integration for you right away through hearing your body, through hearing different parts of you that have not really gotten to see daylight for whatever reason, and in a safe container. People tend to get really afraid of letting things out of the bag when we've repressed them for a long time. And it's understandably so. Like, we push things down for a reason. Those stories that I mentioned during the episode, they come to fruition for a reason. It's to help us survive. But the problem is, now that we are grown-up adults and we get to decide what kind of life we want to lead, it is so important to evaluate, like, what did we stuff down and what did we repress, and did the rules that we made for ourselves, did the systems and patterns of belief that we subscribe to, like, do they still work for us? Because a lot of times, the decisions that we made when we were 5 aren't necessarily what we want to do when we're 35 or 65. So during an epiphany session, we can clear the air on some of that stuff and choose new ways of being that feel better for you. So I would love to do that with you. I'm also hard at work over here getting my conscious wholeness course ready for you. And there is a lot to dive into in terms of loving your body, connecting with your body, feeling really good in your skin, all inside of that course. So one way that you can be the first to know when that comes out is to sign up for the 5 Days of Wholeness Challenge. That's free on my website. And when you sign up, not only will you get the free 5 Days of Wholeness Challenge, which will give you more to sink your teeth into on this topic, but you'll also be on the wait list for Conscious Wholeness, which I suspect will be coming out sooner rather than later. I would love to have you when that becomes available. And let me know, what would you like to hear me talk about? I would love to hear from you. I would love to know how this landed for you. Did it click anything together for you? Did it inspire you to do anything differently than you normally would? How are you going to listen to your body and follow your body's guidance a little bit more deeply today? Let me know. Leave me a comment. Shoot me a message on social media. I'm at Brianna McNerney pretty much everywhere. And my email is info@briannamcnerney.com. All the links that you need are going to be in the show notes. So make sure to check that out. Maybe I'll have a couple little surprises down there for you. And I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Talk to you soon.